In this week's episode of Sword Art Online 2, Laughing Coffin returns to haunt Kirito's memories, and Sinon finally gets the throwdown with the main man himself. But first, a word from our sponsors. My 4X razor has 4 high-quality stainless steel blades, and you can have this bad motherfucker shipped right to your door. Cut ties with traditional razor blades, and sign up for Dollar Shave Club. Remember guys, you can check out a link for that in the description box below if you feel like being a lazy asshole. It's dollarshaveclub.com/SKG. Shave time, shave money. Razor pun. This episode was a little bit of kick with a side of ass. This was a great episode. I loved this one. Not only did we get that tried and true Sword Art Online action, but both of our main leads, Sinon and Kirito, actually had a little bit of development this week. We also got to learn a little bit more about Laughing Coffin, the Murderers Guild from SAO, and that's because we actually get a flashback scene where we get to see where Kirito, Asuna, Klein, and this other group of players actually stormed the Laughing Coffin headquarters and had a huge battle with them. This scene is really important because we're still trying to figure out who Deathgun is. I still think it's that guy with the skull mask because skull equals skull, but what's really important about this scene is that Kirito has actually killed a few players, and they were a few Laughing Coffin members, and a lot of it did have to do with self-defense, but since they were in SAO, those guys are dead. They're no longer coming back. And this has freaked Kirito out, because now that Deathgun has sort of revealed himself, he sort of feels like maybe this is one of the people he could have possibly killed, it could have been a friend of the person he killed, and they're trying to get some sort of weird, crazy revenge. And it's pretty obvious at the beginning of the episode, he is freaked the shit out. Kirito learning about Laughing Coffin and being confronted by Deathgun has sort of put him in berserker mode, and when he's in the qualifier competitions of the BOB, he takes out this one guy with absolutely no prejudice, and he even takes a few shots without even trying to dodge them. And then eventually it does get to Sinon versus Kirito. And it's not exactly the battle I was expecting, but it was really exciting because now that we've learned that Kirito has actually killed a few people, it sort of gives him an excuse to become really close to Sinon because she sort of had to deal with the same thing where she was forced to kill someone where she didn't really want to. And the battle they have is very short-lived, but it's very awesome. I especially love the fact that Sinon gets inside of this bus and gets to the very top where she can actually sit behind this glass, and she tries to immediately fire at Kirito, but she continually misses. And then eventually they confront each other, and this is when Kirito finally realizes why Sinon is actually taking this so seriously, and he decides to have this one duel with her where he's going to flip this bullet into the air, and they're both going to charge each other. He's going to have his lightsaber, she's going to have her big-ass sniper rifle. And since Kirito is a freaking boss, he just cuts right through this bullet, which is probably one of the coolest scenes from the show, and I love the little effect where they have like the huge shockwave that goes around both sides of him when he actually cuts the bullet in half. It's a nice touch, and it's the type of thing that just works in anime series. What's really great about this scene, though, is the way he actually runs up to Sinon and grabs her and puts the lightsaber against her face, but it's the way he's suggestively holding her that's definitely going to be very funny for a lot of people. But this is obviously when they are going to start to sort of squash their shit and start to be friends here, although they do have a little bit of a friendly rivalry, and you can actually see that when Sinon decides to leave at the very end of the game. But Deathgun is watching the whole time ominously as his eyes glow to the ending credits of this week's episode. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Sword Art Online 2? Another really great episode, which developed the characters and gave us an SAO flashback of something that we've never actually seen before. And I'm glad they did that, because Laughing Coffin was clearly a very important part of the very first SAO, and they decided to shelve it, and it was probably so that they could save it for some of the later parts of the series. They were basically planting the seeds for a story arc later, and honestly I think that's pretty interesting. When Kirito was really freaked out at the beginning of this week's episode, that was really messed up, but you could really understand why he's so traumatized by all of these events, because not only has he been forced to come back to this game, but he could be killed at any moment, and he could be killed by someone that he actually had like an interaction with in SAO, and they're doing a really good job of not like showing that one guy with the skull mask from the original SAO. They've shown the other members of Laughing Coffin, and a lot of them are just wearing the robes, just like, cut away from their face, but they're making a mention to not like specifically show that guy too much. And it has to be him, man. It has to be the dude with the skull mask. There's no way it's not going to be. Otherwise, the action this week was really intense, especially when Kirito just learned about Laughing Coffin and Death Gun when he went into that game for the first time. And when he confronted Sinon at the end, you could just tell that like he had like nothing to lose at that moment. And so badass, cutting a bullet in half with a lightsaber like that. That was a really great moment. Sinon blasting through the glass with her big gun. That was really awesome. There were a lot of really great moments this week. The animation, the artwork, the voice acting, everything is really infectious and awesome. And typically I hate flashbacks, but when they serve a story purpose, and it's something that we've never seen before, it works. And it worked in this week's episode. So I have no complaints about this one. I loved it. I thought it was a full package, great animation, artwork. There was a little bit of fan service at the end with Sinon and Kirito, which was both funny. And, of course, Death Gun. He's a fantastic villain. So I'm giving this one a 10 out of 10. I can't help it. I just liked it, guys. When I have no complaints, that's what I'm going to give the score. And I just got done seeing the Ninja Turtles movie, so anything looks really good right now. But this was just amazing. I love this series, and I cannot wait to see where it is going from here. Thank you guys for watching my review today. Before you leave, make sure and hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. And please tell me what you thought about this week's episode of Sword Art Online 2. What did you think of the first battle between Kirito and Sinon? Or make sure, guys, to subscribe to the channel if you've not already. That way you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. And make sure to check us out on both Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links for those in the description box below.
Do you like Amazon.com? I know I do. Corey and I now have an Amazon link in our video description box below. And if you go to it and buy anything through Amazon.com, it will support our channel. So bookmark that link, make it happen, and support our channel without having to do a damn thing.
Another great way you guys can help support our channel is by donating directly through our PayPal link in the description box below. We recommend $2 a month, although this is completely optional. But the best way to go about this is by sneaking into your mom's room and taking $2. This way, she won't even notice. And we won't have to shake you up for all of your lunch money. So guys, that concludes this review today. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.